This is the Projekt Gemineye update, brought to you by Riffical Records. And here's your host, Mark Anthony K. Greetings, friends, and welcome to episode 114 of the Projekt Gemineye update. So this is going to be a sort of mixed bag sort of episode, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So let's start off with Projekt Gemineye stuff. So as I mentioned in a prior update, the lathe cut albums are done. They're already being packaged up, and most of them are in the mail already to you. So hopefully soon you should be receiving in the mail your lathe cut album. I checked it out on the old turntable downstairs. It sounds fantastic. Very happy with the way it turned out. And that'll lead me to talk about something a little bit later in regards to lathe cut records. It turned out great. The only thing to make note of, I mentioned on the last update video that the sheet that I gave you that has the songs listed on there, I just listed the songs that were on the EPs and the single proper, but the way that the songs are structured on the lathe cut are different than how it appears on the paper. That was done to try to keep as much of top quality fidelity as possible. I think she did a really good job doing it this way. I believe side A is Man of Science, the song, followed by Escape, and then the Record Store Day version of Children of Hope on side A. And then the flip side of it, if I'm not mistaken, would be the other two songs, which are Museum of Failure, Thoughts of, I don't remember what the lot, geez, I'll pop up the song here, I forget what the title is, Thoughts of Change, there you go, is the other song on the EP, on the Lost Science Files. And the last song on side B is, now I'm going blank again with that one, the last song on the single, which was the unreleased song from the album. So many things I'm thinking about lately right now, or so many things I've been thinking about. As you see, I'm so flustered already that I can't even remember the song titles. Anyways, I'll put it up here, and that's the last song on side B. So, the current album, Projekt Gemineye, in the Years 3073, Book 2. We are getting pretty close to the end of completing it. We have completed most of the keyboards. And as I mentioned before, I kind of split up the keyboard recordings into three parts. First part is with this baby here. The Gaia is next, and the base station is third. I have completed all my work on this. And I will play a little bit, or show you a little bit of the sounds that I used from this album, just to keep with how I'm kind of been approaching this. I've been showing you the guitars that I've been doing. I'm not going to do a sort of jam video with the keyboard. I'm not Jan Hammer or anything like that, so I'll just play a little bit of, just something just to show you the sort of sounds that I've used for the album. So you know what? Without any further ado, why don't I just do that right now? It's on, right? Yeah, it's on. So that is one of the main sounds that I used on this album a lot. When I first started Projekt Gemineye, I kind of shied away from the piano a little bit, thinking that I don't know why, I just thought that it just wasn't something that fit with Projekt Gemineye music, but how wrong I am. In fact, a lot of my favorite songs from bands like Yes and Genesis and stuff like that have lots of piano. So I have embraced the piano, in fact, this sound in particular, which is a sort of, according to what it says on the screen, well, the funny thing is this screen is pretty much half broken because I think I dropped this keyboard once at a show when I was on tour. But it's built like a tank, so the whole thing works still, but just the screen is kind of screwed up. Anyways, the title of the patch is Natural Grand Piano, and I'll just show you a little bit of the sound of that real quick. So there you go. That's sort of the sort of piano sound that I basically approached with some of the songs. Another thing that I really sort of embraced on this keyboard, essentially there's three main sounds I used on this: the piano, organ. Now I'll show you which sound. Excuse me, because yeah, there's quite a few different kind of keyboard sounds on here. You have the straight up sort of, pull out all the kind of slider kind of ones, which is the 4x4, I believe it's called, which is this one here. I didn't really like that sound too much. It kind of reminded me almost like of Christmas for some reason. So I went for the more kind of John Lord sort of distorted Hammond organ sound. Which is like this. Sorry, I hope that didn't blast people's eardrums out doing that, but that's basically the sort of distorted Hammond that I use, excuse me, organ for the album. And it fit really good with the electric guitars. That's the main thing why I kind of liked using this, is because it kind of sat good with the guitars. It didn't jump over them or bury them. They kind of worked together and blended together and made a really big sound. So I really enjoyed that. There is another sort of organ one that I used, which is the Procol Harum patch, which is interesting. It fits decently with the songs, and I used it only in spots here and there. Actually, when I started doing like kind of melodic lines, I'll show you the patch. Yeah, so that was the sound that I used for some soloing stuff. And the funny thing is, I didn't really even realize it until I put headphones on now, because I've been doing all my recording through speakers, is that this setting has a sort of panning effect back and forth, which should be very interesting. I didn't even realize that it did that. Oof. Maybe I should pay more attention to the actual settings, but I think it'll work perfectly. It has a really cool sound to it, and I really dug it. Now, the last sound that I used on this, and it's one that this keyboard does extremely well. Sorry, I got a little bit of phlegm going on. Sorry about that. But yeah, the last kind of sound that I did for this record, or used for this record, is basically a string setting. This keyboard does strings very, very well. So I'll show you one or two of the kind of settings that I used for it. So give me 1 second here. So that's kind of the swell strings, they call it. There's other kinds of ones in there. Maybe I'll go through a little bit of them just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. That's another one. that's another type of one. But now the interesting thing is on here that you also can do analog strings, like more of an attempt to do like an old kind of early 80s string sound. Now the interesting thing there is that if you drop the pitch down, there's like a little button here on the side that does an octave drop, and I just dropped it there, so it took it from this low C to this low C. Now that low C is extremely handy for when I'm doing some sort of like Taurus bass pedal bits to kind of fill in the bottom end a little bit more when the bass is maybe playing some notes up higher on the neck. Drop in a few of these. And your bass is all filled in again. So there you go. Those are the sounds that I'm basically using for the record for book 2. So the record should be maybe done, I'm guessing by the end of September I should have everything finished recording wise and probably be in to the mix end of things by then. So not much longer, my friends. Okay, now a quick note about the Dark Monarchy. The Dark Monarchy, which is my other band, as you guys know, we did a Record Store Day release, digital release that came out yesterday. Thank you very much for everybody who did go and support it. We were very happy with the turnout for that. It was fantastic. Thank you very much. Especially since it's a digital only thing, kind of goes against the grain of the whole Record Store Day thing. But I've decided that next month, because there's still 2 more Record Store Day drops coming, one in September and one in October, that the Dark Monarchy will be doing a physical release for one of the Record Store Days. And I'm going to try to do a physical release as well for the Projekt Gemineye. So on one of the other months, on let's say September, maybe we'll do the Dark Monarchy, maybe October, the Projekt Gemineye might do a physical drop. But we'll see. That's my plan. And you know how plans are sometimes when you try to make them. But that's what I'm trying to do. And what I'll do is I'm thinking about doing either a 7-inch single lathe cut release or a 10-inch. The 10-inch might work better for the Projekt Gemineye stuff because they're longer songs. Well, so is the Dark Monarchy, but the 10-inch can fit a little bit more. But then maybe for the 7-inch, I can make an exclusive sort of edit version of a song. So either way, my plan is to make a physical release coming for both bands. It turned out really nicely. I'm very pleased with the lathe cut stuff. It turned out beautifully. The only thing I'm going to have to do a little bit more work on is I want to make a slightly better presentation of it. Maybe make a nice cover for it. Sort of like how the Japanese releases are when they put those kind of slips in the front and put the sleeve in the back of it. You know what I mean. People who buy these Japanese 7-inch knows exactly what I'm talking about. So something along those lines to make a more presentable product for you guys. So that's it as far as Projekt Gemineye and the Dark Monarchy is concerned. And since Record Store Day just passed, people have been asking me left, right, and center, did you get anything for Record Store Day? Did you get anything? No, I didn't get anything for Record Store Day. That doesn't mean, though, that I'm not going to go out in the next couple of days and get something else. Like that was on that day that I missed out on. Because the record stores generally have stuff left over, if you're lucky. So I'm going to go and check. But, excuse me, what I decided to do is I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've gotten from past Record Store Days. I'll make this quick because it'll be like a 45-minute video if I go through this in great detail. So I'll kind of go through these quickly and maybe I'll go into a little bit more detail with some of them, but I'll try to make this quick. Now first, I'm going to show you something that wasn't a Record Store Day thing, but you guys know me. I love Frank Zappa, and I saw this the other day at the record store and had to grab it. This is a 4-disc sort of Where is it? There's a hype sticker. 4-disc, come on. 4-disc set commemorating the 50th anniversary of the 1970 Mothers. Yeah, featuring unreleased sessions from Trident Studios with engineer Roy Thomas Baker. Includes historical live performances mostly captured by Zappa's own tape recorder. So, you know, that's the one thing about this that I maybe should have read it a bit better, because this wasn't exactly cheap, which I'm not really complaining about, because just for the historical stuff that's on disc 1, I think it's worth it. The studio stuff is brilliant. But some of the live stuff, especially the stuff that's not done straight to 2-track, the stuff that's done in his own kind of like personal recorder, it sounds like ass. I'm sorry, they always sound terrible. I don't know why he bothers to release that stuff, or why Amit decides to release, that's his son. It's just terrible. But anyway, that's the backside there. So try the studio stuff. The live highlights are on the remaining 3 discs. So far I've only listened to disc 1, because I'm almost afraid to listen to the live stuff, to be honest, because I've heard prior stuff that they've done that is on his home handmade recorder, and it's terrible. So, but I would recommend this still if you're a big Zappa fan. Big Zappa fan. Jeez, never mind. I gotta fix my tongue here for some reason. Anyways, okay, let's go on to the rest of them. Now, I think this is a Record Store Day release. Maybe not. But this is the Doors Light My Fire, the Crystal Ship reissue, Japanese sort of presentation. This was just on black vinyl. There's nothing much to look at. It's just on... there you go. I'm going to go through the 7 inches first. I'm sure a lot of you already got this. This is the Led Zeppelin Rock and Roll 7-inch single and Friends. The big thing was it's the Sunset Sound mix, which was previously unreleased, and the Friends on side B is the Olympic Studios mix, which was previously unreleased. This is on yellow vinyl. This is the Record Store Day Rush Closer to the Heart single. The B-side is, I believe, it's Madrigal. Why did they pick Madrigal? I figured they would have used Cinderella Man. I thought that was the B-side, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case, Madrigal is the apparent B-side on here. It's just a sort of regular label design. I don't even believe it's colored vinyl. No. You know me, guys. I'm a big Rush fan. They're numero uno in my books and always will be. But I like to tell it like it is. And for me personally, when this came out, when I first heard this was coming out, I was pretty excited. Like, okay, Rush is finally dipping their toe into the whole Record Store Day thing. So I was thinking, okay, they're going to hopefully try to go all the way with this, colored vinyl, blah, 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 blah. No, they didn't do any of that. They just kind of took the easy, safe route. But whatever. I'm a Rush fan, so I'm going to get it. And I'm also a big David Bowie fan, as you all know. So, of course, TVC15. This is a Record Store Day release, you can see in the corner. The flip side is Wild is the Wind, the 2010 Harry Maslin Mix single edit. So there's David on that side. On the back side, you have that picture. I'm a big collector of these. I kind of got in late on collecting these, so I'm paying the price now for this, because when they all come out now, I grab them right away, because they're usually like pretty acceptable prices, like $25-$30 for them. But the ones that I missed on are getting really expensive, like Space Oddity, forget about it. It's almost like it's in three digits, like high 3 digits. I even saw somebody, I could have sworn I saw somebody almost asking $800 for that. This is getting ridiculous, to be quite honest. So, and this is another David Bowie Record Store Day thing. This is a 10-inch numbered. I have number 4409. This has Sue, or In a Season of Crime, on side A, and it has It's a Pity She Was a Whore. Now, this is not the versions that appear on Black Star. That's why this is such a big thing for people who are Bowie fans. These were versions that were done prior to Black Star and sound vastly different. And there you go. It's just on black vinyl, but it looks very cool. And for you David Bowie people out there, it sounds great. One of the advantages of doing something like this on 10-inch is you have a lot more space to work with when you're cutting the acetate for it, and so you can get much better fidelity. Another picture disc. Frank Zappa. This is recent Black Friday Record Store Day release for Peaches and Regalia. Backside there. It's the same two songs. It's Peaches and Regalia and Little Umbrellas. I believe the difference is side one is the rhythm track mix, and the other side is the mono single master of both songs. So yeah, and this is number 2656. I believe there's like 5,000 of these made or something. Yeah, it says here, rare and previously unreleased mixes taken from the Hot Rat sessions, which I have the box set. That's a fantastic box set. A 50th anniversary celebration of the 1969 Hot Rats album, mastered by Bernie Grunman on 10-inch 45 RPM picture disc. It sounds great. It sounds really, really good. And a new person that I've been watching is Spins and... Oh, geez, I'm going to get her channel wrong. Spins and Needles. That's it. It's a girl from Kansas City. I believe she's a Frank Zappa fan. If you haven't seen this yet, you might want to go search this out. It sounds fantastic, and I know that you're a Hot Rats fan. So, I want to check that out. Okay, other releases. Now we're getting into the 12-inch stuff. Frank Zappa. This is the mono release of We're Only In It For The Money. What's so great about this version of it? Well, it is not only because it's mono, and mono was the kind of one that was the elusive mix. This is a picture disc version. Now, this came in 4 different pictures. I got this one. If you buy this now, you might even get a totally different picture. That was the big thing about this as well. I think they were secretly hoping that people were going to go out and try to pick up and find all 4 different variations of the picture. I'm not playing that game. Okay, another release. This was a Black Friday release from Frank Zappa. This was Lumpy Gravy, but this was a different mix of it vastly. If you know what Lumpy Gravy sounds like, this is the original 1967 orchestral only edit. So there's no Frank's crazy things that he puts in between it. It is only the orchestra Lumpy Gravy, available for the first time on LP, and all analog mastering on 45 RPM 180 gram heavyweight burgundy vinyl. Yes, burgundy vinyl. I'm not going to take it out because it's all tightly wrapped, and I want to kind of get through this a bit quicker. This video is already at approaching 25 minutes. Okay, another Record Store Day release. Rush Hemispheres picture disc. This was a recent one. Like I said, some picture discs are notoriously bad sounding. The original of this sounded very bad. Sounded like complete ass, except, well, what do you expect is what I meant to say. Back in the day, they didn't really care about the sound fidelity. This was more a collector's piece. And same image on both sides. Again, I love you guys, Rush, but sometimes I think you guys just kind of missed the boat on these kind of ideas. Like, why would you put the same image on both sides of the picture disc? Think about that. Okay, here's a record that people might be surprised that I got. This was a Record Store Day release as well. Elvis Presley, American Sound, 1969 highlights. This is the American Sound Studio recordings that were done. Sounds really, really good. Okay, double record, as you can see. And some of the most noted songs that they had: Long Black Limousine, In the Ghetto, From a Jack to a King, Do You Know Who I Am, Kentucky Rain. My father, God rest his soul, was a very big Elvis Presley fan and listener. So a lot of these songs are very familiar to me. So when this came up and I heard great things about it from other people on their channels, I definitely went out. I obviously went out and got it. And it was not a mistake. It's a great record. Okay, another picture disc, Record Store Day release, David Bowie, Pinups. This actually sounds surprisingly good for a picture disc. Now, this is what I'm talking about, Rush, so take note. Image on this side, image on the other side. Ooh, it's a different image. Okay, and it sounds very good, and with this came a sheet exactly like the actual vinyl album. So that's a nice little addition in there as well. Some of these pictures just do not come with these sort of things. One of the things that the Bowie people do well is this sort of stuff, finding little extra stuff to put in and make the product that much better. Here's another Record Store Day release. This one was one that I was very excited to get and happy that I got it. It was Bowie Now. This was a sort of an advance record that went out to radio stations promoting Bowie material that was out at that time, which I believe was Low and Heroes were the two records at the time. Let me just double check that. Yeah, if you take a look at the song listings, it is mainly material from Heroes and from Low. There is a insert in here that's rather nice. It's a picture of Bowie and his dog and the sort of required information as well. And I'll show you the vinyl. I'm mainly doing it because this was already sort of out and about here, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to show you this one. If I can get it back in here, there we go. And the vinyl is the sort of vinyl that I like the least, to be honest with you, and that is white vinyl. It sounds good. I played it a few times and it sounds very good. It's not a record that I would play very often, mainly because I think it's a collectible piece, and also because I have some very good pressings of both Low and Heroes and some excellent CD ones of it as well. So why would I try to use this? You know what I mean? Okay. Getting down to the last two. Another Record Store Day thing and another Bowie thing. The last two things are Bowie things. You can tell I'm a big Bowie collector. This is Let's Dance, the 12-inch single, which has the full-length demo of Let's Dance, and then on side B is the live version of Let's Dance, and of course my hand had to get right in the way of the track listing. There you go. Now, if memory serves me correctly, I don't think this is anything really special as far as color. There's your label. I'll just take it out. Seems to be getting an odd glare on there. Yeah, it's just black vinyl. Does it have any sort of interesting information to dead wax? No. Just the sort of serial number stuff. I did listen to this. The full-length demo of Let's Dance is interesting. Definitely a little bit more, rockish. More raw. Let's just put it that way, because it didn't get into the hands of Nile Rodgers at that point yet, I don't think, or at least it didn't get a full, high gloss mix a la Bob Claremountain. So, sounds really good. The live stuff is always good too. David Bowie's fantastic live. Now this is my prized Record Store Day piece, I believe. I'm going to hold it up first, and for people who know what this is, they're probably going to go, "Oh, okay, I know what he's talking about." Yeah, you know what that is? Okay, so for those of you who don't, this was a release that Bowie fans were very excited about. It is a album that was made that showed material of the then unreleased Hunky Dory that David Bowie had been working on. And on side one of this was his material, and on the other side was Dana Gillespie, who was also a person on Main Man's management roster. And it had her demos on the other side. It's not on here. This is just a one-sided album, which is an odd thing. But it was a thing that they shopped to record labels. And this is the recreation of that sort of demo or example record for record labels to check out of his new material. Okay, on the other side you'll see there's nothing there. It's just blank, which is weird. I don't know why they wouldn't. They should have just even put Dana Gillespie stuff on there. She's so attached to David Bowie in history. Why wouldn't you do it? So that's the album, and it sounds great. I listened to it many times. They recreated the sort of cover that went to the record people as well. David Bowie, rough mix. So you would just put your record into there. And the great thing here is they give you a sheet explaining the history of this release. You know, it says right here, in late July, early August 71, in an effort to highlight David Bowie's considerable talents and secure him a new recording contract, Gem, his new management company, had a promotional album pressed, Bow Promo, which is Bowie Promo, basically. Side A contained 7 Bowie tracks, relatively new material at the time, 5 which would appear on Bowie's next album, Hunky Dory. On the B side were 5 tracks recorded by another artist on the Gem roster, Dana Gillespie. Now, the songs that are on this, in case you didn't see, are Oh You Pretty Things, which is a very close version apparently to Hunky Dory, but there's some subtle differences. Vocals are slightly more upfront on the Hunky Dory version, and the piano on this version has a more specialized sound. Then you have 8-Line Poem, you have Kooks, It Ain't Easy, Queen Bitch, Quicksand, and Bombers / Andy Warhol intro on here. Queen Bitch is one of my favorite songs. The interesting thing here is that the Bowie promo version, which is this here, version lacks the reverb on the vocals but has it added on Mick Ronson's riff. The Bowie promo version has a at the very end of the song. So it's little things like that that are interesting with this. It's very, some of the songs are very different from the Hunky Dory versions, and some are pretty similar. Now, the last thing, which I thought was a very classy thing that they did in here, is it gave you this. Now, when I first looked at this, I was like, what is this, like paperwork or something? No, it's not what it is. And I make sure I keep these in here because these are really nice. I was very surprised that you get this, is these really nice 8x10 pictures of David Bowie. Be very careful here not to smudge these things up. Yeah, what I like about this is that you would figure, okay, they'll maybe give you 1, maybe 2 pictures. No, there's like 5 pictures here, I think. Yeah, 5 photos. Fantastic. You know, I mean, for the collector, for the David Bowie collector, this is exactly the kind of stuff that you want to see. And I don't know why other artists don't do similar stuff. And when I do my own sort of releases, these are the kind of things I kind of keep in mind and kind of try to strive towards, if not this sort of thing, but the sort of quality of stuff to do. So that's all my Record Store Day things that I have gotten over the years. I'm hoping very much to add to it, and between me and you, that I will tell you what I am looking to add, and that is the Bowie I'm Only Dancing live release 74 that came out. Also the Changes Now compilation that came out, I would like to get that as well. And I also want to get the Ace Frehley Trouble Walking 45 RPM. And if it's around, maybe I might want to even get the Fight Small Deadly Space record. So there you go. That's everything. I'm cutting in on 35 minutes, so I better cut this off now. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed that, and I'll have more news soon about Projekt Gemineye stuff, so keep your eyes open for that, and I'll be back very soon. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.